Hello everyone, my name is Amrin Kausar and I welcome everyone to the AccelHERate workshop track on the most innovative practices in Women L&D program. This session will be held between 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Our first speaker for this session is Ms. Amanda Alphonso, manager at EY. I welcome Amanda to come and present. The stage is all yours.
Great to be here, even though it's virtually, and congratulations to you and the team for putting this together all virtually. I'll talk a little bit about the L&D programs at EY. So before I dive into the women-specific programs, I just want to take a couple of minutes to talk a little bit about the learning culture at EY and really where it all comes from. So if you look at our vision, EY's vision is to build a better working world, right? That's our vision, building a better working world. And one of the ways in which we do this and how we translate this for everyone who works at EY is through a framework called the Transformative Leadership Model. So very simply, and this transformative leadership model, right, is applicable to people across ranks, across geographies, across business lines. Very simply, what it means for every one of us at EY is the transformative leadership model has three elements to it. There's better me, look at the better me aspect of this model. It basically has three pillars, which is curiosity, agility, and well-being. And so just from that, the fact that there's so much emphasis on curiosity, on well-being, and on agility, that in itself, sort of builds that foundation for the learning culture at EY. There's a foundation, like I said, there's a culture of being curious, of learning more, of being able to learn, unlearn, relearn with the changing times. And how do we do this, and how do we make this learning culture accessible to everyone? One of the ways is through a program called the EY Badges, which is basically a pretty comprehensive learning program open to everyone across EY, again, across ranks, across geographies, across business functions, right? So there are badges on technology, badges on leadership, badges related to business, and one can pursue whatever badge one wants to be able to improve oneself as a working professional, improve one's well-being, and to enhance one's curiosity. And of course, these badges are comprised of both learning as well as the experience components. And then once you finish that, then it gets approved by someone who's qualified to be able to approve that badge that you earn. One of the great things that came about last year, in fact, was that through the EY Badges program, we now have an accredited EY Tech MBA with the Hult University. So meeting certain parameters, certain number of badges, all our employees are then eligible for a free accredited EY Tech MBA through the Hult University. So yes, there's a lot of scope for learning. There's a lot of scope to be able to fulfill that curiosity in each one of us. But if I look at, specifically women's programs, right? We have programs at different levels of a women's career trajectory. And if I start at perhaps the mid to the entry level, we have a program which essentially looks at how can women strategically plan their careers and be intentional about their choices. So this particular program, the Intentional Career Path, which is probably most beneficial to women at the mid to entry level, looks at practical exercises. It looks at research insights, training sessions on how can a woman be intentional about a career, be focused about what she's going to do ahead. At the mid-level, we have a signature program called AccelHERate at EY. This is a blended learning program for high potential women at the mid-career level in order to help them to rise to the higher levels. So this program essentially looks at a blend of classes and sessions, whether virtual or in person. It looks at mentor connects, coaching, as well as a real-time project, so that women taking this program then get a feel of cross-functional businesses and a real-world exposure. So that's with mid and the entry level. And finally, coming to the senior level women, to help the women at, let's say, a senior manager, an associate director, move up to the C-suite, move up to the leadership level. So we have a program called Career Watch, uh, where every career watcher, right, that's somebody who's in the leadership, is assigned a career watchee. And the career watcher's responsibility, right, it's like a sponsorship. So the career watcher's responsibility is to ensure that the watchee develops the capabilities, whether it is the global mindset, whether it is a C-suite presence, whether it's the business acumen, market leadership, to be able to help the career watchee to then move up into that leadership level. And on a similar front, the most newest program that we have at the leadership level for women at the senior managerial level is called Create You. This is, again, a blended learning approach. So while there's a sponsorship element to it, and of course, there's also a strong network of women that's built through this program. This is a 10-month intensive blended learning program. So really what this Create You program is about, it's about building that network of women, helping them to move up to the leadership level, providing them sponsorship. It's also about being able to empower the women to recognize their own personal purpose, strengthening their personal and professional resilience. And some of the other key elements of it is that besides the sponsorship, there's also a one-to-one coaching that each of these women have. And finally, I think the most important aspect of the Create You program is the paying it forward approach. So each of these women, when they are out and even through the 10-month intensive program, right, are looking at how each of them can pay it forward. So how can each of them then help more women to rise up the ranks and to reach, that leadership level, to be able to reach their potential. Culture, the learning culture at EY, EY badges, that's open to everyone. That's everyone's encouraged to take it. Then we have some of our formal programs at every stage of a woman's career trajectory. And finally, like I was saying, the paying it forward approach, that also translates into an informal learning aspect, because one of the ways that women at senior leadership levels pay it forward is through the Lean In program. So most of our women leaders then have Lean In circles. They function as circle leaders, and they then become mentors and guides to women at mid-entry junior levels who lean in to them for their mentorship and their guidance. And all of the women have lean in circles. We also have one more aspect, which is the peer circles. Again, this is something we launched in the last 1 year, where through peer circles, women at junior to early senior levels lean into each other. They form this sort of peer group support, peer community without maybe a leadership level. Each of these mid-career women then become leaders in their own right. And they meet usually every fortnight. It's a purely informal learning that helps women to grow both through formal learning programs as well as through the informal ways at work. So yes, that's in a nutshell what we do in terms of both learning as well as women-specific programs at EY.
I really thank you for being, you just came and you just gave us a really great insights about EY. Thanks, Amanda. Yeah.